to the West Coast per se. It was a good experience. Really enjoyed the environment.
Harder to catch your breath up there?
At times. After a couple of reps, it definitely was.
What was your perspective on that play that Billy made when he ends up going coast to coast?
Unbelievable. A grasp of air. We needed that stop in that moment, to be honest with you. They kind of had us on our heels, but it was good to see. He was running. He was running, man. It was really good.
What does it say about this defense that you guys did get battered and put back on your heels at times on Saturday, but when those big plays needed to be made, you guys did it?
Right, 100%. Just that belief. You never know when that time's going to come and an opportunity is going to come to make that play. I would just say you have to be ready for it. And we were in those times every single time. Whether that's the play where Danny stripped the ball from the quarterback or the ball where they had just got a big punt return, actually. And they were coming down there about to do a trick play and Rondell fell on a fumble. We were ready for those opportunities, and we capitalized on them, too.
How would you kind of describe this journey to where you're getting playing time in meaningful situations? You and Kit both have kind of gone through that.
Man, I just say every day living in the moment. I've never took my mind off of anything, and I've always lived in every moment. And if you do that, you always ultimately end up where you're supposed to, no matter what.
There've been times where you didn't think maybe you were going to stick it out, or you didn't think you'd see this type of impact?
Right, that's human nature. Every human does that. And that's the belief of knowing that the work that you put in, you will ultimately have the output. And I've just lived my life like that. I've known that I've done my deeds. I'm going to reap what I've sown. I've been happy for everybody in every moment, no matter what. Never jealous of anybody. And as a man, that's just that aspect of growing up. And that was good. It's good. It's happening. It's not a surprise to me at all because I know I'll put in that work for everybody in the room as well.
Danny gave you a lot of credit for the strip sack, for being able to make that type of call. What does that tell you about the maturity and the growth that you've shown? Just communication. What seems like such a big deal is so minimal, and it's a simple thing of just turning around and making sure that he's with me. It's just a little thing, but it equates to a big play. And it's definitely a heads-up play, but it's nothing big to me because it's just communication. Simple as that.
What's your guys' mentality going into the week where you might be playing the following week, but there are also a couple of things out of your hands?
We're just focused on the task that's at hand now. We're really not looking ahead to anything. We're just focused on TCU because if we're not, these guys can be really dangerous for sure.
Is it hard at all not to look at some of those things, though, even if you're preparing for TCU?
Right, it is. And like I said, that's human nature. But you have to be with the next thing task at hand, and that's TCU right now.
Kind of going back to Billy's play, you guys have been really good on the goal line all year. What's gone into that?
The thing with being really good on the goal line is we've been really big on stopping the run, and the series before that, actually, we called a run stunt, and they shifted out, and it kind of sputtered us, and and they scored on it, and Coach V kind of hesitated the next series, and he gave us a late call, and Billy made a really good play, and you have to know when you're really good up front that their first thought process isn't to run the ball. They've seen that on film, so they're going to attack the perimeter for sure.
Talk about go ahead.
I was just going to say, having watched the film, what do you think went into how much success BYU was able to have running the ball on Saturday, and how you guys correct things there?
Just schematically, like Coach V said in his press conference today, we just have to be really gap sound. They had a lot of eye candy going on, and you have to be disciplined within the scheme to know, no matter what, who you have with you and who you don't. And there was a couple plays where I myself over pursued, and I should have just knew who I had with me. But it's small, minimal things. It wasn't a big deal at all. You just have to know who you're with and then a rep fit. And then if you don't, it'll punish you. Something so little can equivalent to something so big if you don't know schematically the gaps.
You sort of talk about that, something so little, when you talk about communication a few minutes ago. How did that sort of evolve for you and realizing the importance of that and your role in that?
Right, big. For the simple fact, if I don't communicate to Danny right there, they have enough to pick us up, and we don't have enough to guard them per se. We're going to be really weak in that situation. The quarterback would have all day. It's big on big protection, and ultimately bringing Danny over, and they didn't have enough. Just simple as that. And then when you don't communicate, and when you don't know who's with you, you see what that can equivalent to.
last year you were a younger guy and you saw everybody go through the struggles because of that last year, and now sitting here at 9-2, how big would 10-2 be to finish the season for this?
Really big, really big. Every win is big. It doesn't matter what it is or how we get it. A win is a win at the end of the day. Don't matter how you got it. In the stat sheet, it say dub. Simple as that. And last year was really tough on everybody, especially for me. I didn't play much at all. And just sitting back and watching those guys go through that, it was really painful. But Team 128 per se, they crawled so we can walk. And that's it's been really fun. No matter how we've got the dub, it's been good to get them.